What's up, everyone? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. DJ Life Podcast.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
2024, finally.
We are back. Really, it was just Rick. Rick had to go get his last vacation of being a single, non-married man out of the way.
I had to go be a delinquent real quick
Yep.
in the Bahamas.
Yep. All the hookers and all the coke. You know,
no
Is that
comment.
really how it went, Rick?
No comment,
I was
but
like, no. Yeah, no. I could just, no.
All right. Well, where'd you guys go, Rick?
we just went. Well, we went to Miami, spent a day in Miami, and then or a night in Miami. Then we got on a cruise ship to go to Nassau, the very stupid popular Bahama spot.
Really?
NASA.
I didn't know that.
But it's where all the fucking boats go. It's like
Oh.
it's like the island.
I thought you just went to Miami. That's awesome.
No, we got on a cruise ship, man. We spent 2 days at the sea with a bunch of overweight people hitting the buffet like crazy.
I love that. I'm one of those
Except
people.
we were
I'm like,
just-
let's go.
Except we were just being delinquents. We had the all you can drink pass, which is actually not all you can drink. They cap everyone on the cruise ship at 15 drinks a day.
15 drinks a day. I mean,
Resets at 6 a.m.
I can't drink that many drinks.
Oh, we
That's
blew
fine.
through it every single
For-
night.
Personally, that's okay. I could see how that is.
The first day we got on the ship at like 3 o'clock, and we were out of drinks at like 1 a.m.
Yeah. See, Tyler, I told you I hadn't talked to him yet. I haven't said a fucking word to him since I walked in the door.
We literally had
Yeah.
to figure out how to finesse the drink law. So we found out a couple things. One, if you order beers to the room, they don't count towards your drink count. So we were ordering like a 12-pack every morning to make sure we had extra beers to the room. And then if
You
you
just
go
order a 12 pack on a damn cruise. I love that.
They're like,
absolutely
you have-
ridiculous
they're like,
price
you have a
too.
wristband. They're like, you have unlimited drinks. And you're like, no,
It's
not.
capped. It's capped.
Or
And
else
then,
I would not be doing this.
And then the steakhouse on board the ship, if you go there, which we did on the second night, you can order bottles of wine, and they don't count either. And our waiter, literally, we were like trying to be like, yo, how many bottles can we order? Because we were just going to take them with us and shit. And she was like, only one per room. And we're like, oh, we got 2 rooms here. We're good. And then we ended up, what if we want a third bottle? Can we get a third one? And we finessed her and we're like, yo, can we get a third bottle? And she let us actually get a third bottle and didn't charge us for it.
Nice.
Amazing.
And these were $98 like bottles of red wine. It was like crazy. She actually let us have it.
My fucking bachelor party, so we went skiing, and it was just like a kind of like a cop out because I was like, I don't feel like thinking about a vacation, and I haven't planned it. And so we went skiing, and I can't ski, so I just like stood around
And drank?
Yeah, no, not even. It wasn't that crowd. It was no one in my posse does that, So, no, nothing. Literally, just kind of. I played Pokemon Snap for the Nintendo 64 because I found it in the Airbnb.
Hell yeah.
So me and my friend beat that game, and that was about it.
I think
If your Airbnb has an N64, you have absolutely picked the right place.
That's straight. Yeah. I mean, I'm not like a mountains kind of person, but it sounded fun. And I've been skiing before when I was young, and it was fine. But for whatever reason, this time it just like struck me wrong, and I just could not do it. I was so fucking mad.
Dude, so for my bachelor party, we went up northern Arizona. It snowed like crazy and got a cabin. All I remember is we're in a hot tub. It's snowing. I've got a cigar in my mouth with like a little 22 shooting beer cans out in the snow. And I'm like, I would take that over Vegas any day.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, Vegas is aggressive.
Dude, I love Vegas.
It's great. I mean, I'm
was
fucking
actually-
down for it
I
whenever
was
you guys
actually-
are in town.
I was actually crying earlier because I'm not in Vegas right now. I was
That's-
like, God, I wish I was in Vegas.
It's literally
Well, we can still go. Like, I'm all about
When
it.
was it?
Like,
This year, I mean, what are you going to any of the Vegas conventions this year?
No.
What's a good one?
no,
They're all like Are they all trash now? The Vegas ones?
to us.
Yeah. I mean, Midwest. I'm going to Midwest. Undisputed. That one's obviously good.
Eric, like, you can't, like, advertise to all these up-and-comers going to Wedding MBA. Like, what do you mean? That's totally your lane.
I like Wedding MBA. I do. I guess that's the only one left that I would ever go to. I would go to the DJ one. I don't know what it's even called now, but I heard no one went. And I would like at least, if I'm not going to partake in the education, I at least want like 100 people around me.
You mean
know
the
what I
photo booth one?
Yeah, it was the one that
And the one that
split with
happens
the
like
photo
in
booth?
February.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the photo booth one now.
I thought it was whatever Mobile Beat became. Did they combine and shit?
Nah, it's
Didn't
called
you go to
the
it last
Mobile
year?
X. No, I didn't go last year. It's yeah, it went downhill.
Whatever.
They tried.
I heard it's fucking lame.
It's basically a bunch of photo booth people.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a photo booth,
The
whatever.
DJ section is like very sad, like
I'm just
sadder
not-
than sad.
I'm just not home. Like, I mean, yes, I have homies in the photo booth world, but not like I do in the DJ world. You
Well,
know,
the
like
fun-
I go to a DJ convention and I'm just like, I've seen fucking Tyler and I've never even met him before, and it's like, let's hang out the whole time. You know, it's like, what the fuck? I've been talking to you for like a year, 2 years,
1,000,000%.
Yeah,
I think the crazy part though at the photo booth one for me walking around like talking to people, like trying to talk to the photo booth people is they're all like extremely small, like all part-timers there. They're all like
photo booth company. It is much more common for a photo boother to be like a solo op, smaller company for sure. That is true.
I felt like I was like everybody that was a photo booth person that talked to most of them. There was a few that like I was like, damn, okay, that's crazy. You got a crazy business going on. But like most of them, it felt like I was talking to a newbie DJ that only had 10 events last year.
Yeah, I mean, I know a couple like big photo booth companies, but I don't give a fuck. Whatever, I don't care about photo booths. Photo booths.
It just means they're doing good at marketing, right? They're just bringing
Yeah,
on,
I mean, Jeff
like
Li-
you're reaching out to the right people.
Jeff Libby, what does he own? I can't remember the company title, but they're literally just like SEO experts, and they do photo booths all over the world and white label it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yep,
It's like what you're trying to do, Eric.
it is. It is. That is kind of like the direction, at least. All right, so let's talk about DJ shit. What's up? So, everyone, this is Tyler.
guys?
Yeah. I'm gonna let Tyler say about it, but Tyler just left his full-time engineering job and has switched to multi-op. He's had multi-op, and I would like to hear all about that. So first, tell us about your company and just the current status.
Yeah, sure. So we are starting 2019. Let's go. Bringing him on the bottle.
Oh, he hasn't even opened this bottle.
Oh, let's go.
Let's
So
go.
yeah, I've DJing like 15 years since high school. I was throwing events, throwing dance parties in high school. But I didn't start getting into weddings until like 2019. You know, we all think they're lame until we realize they're not.
Isn't that crazy how that is? Well, it's that you get the first paycheck from a wedding and you're like, ooh, wow, maybe this was worth selling my soul for. Like, that's really what it is. And then you have to have that conversation with yourself.
Yeah, right. And then you eventually do enough to where you realize like how to.
Yeah, and
stay-
you're like,
have your
well,
own
I guess
lane.
this is real DJing. I mean, this is fun. And
You're like you're making every
justifying-
excuse for yourself.
Right.
No, but really though, it's just the same story that most had where, you know, you have a personal brand and then you start doing weddings and you start getting too many inquiries because you're actually not an asshat at doing weddings. And then you start bringing on more people because you decide that's the route lane you want to go. We've got 6 or 7 guys. Engage Entertainment is here based in Phoenix, Arizona. So we're Greater Valley area. We've got Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, and a bunch of other Tempe. We've got ASU here, the biggest college in the nation. I went there. I'm born and raised here.
What'd you go to school for?
Chemical engineering.
Sick. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. They have a 4+1 like master's program, so I did that. Found a job here. Worked there 9.5 years. And last month, I finally was like, see ya, and went this full time. Last year was the first year where I definitely made significantly more than my engineering job. And it's just, you finally, it's time. It's like, okay, if I had all this time to just invest towards building my company and buying Eric's fucking automate your DJ EP and just fucking finally doing that stuff.
Yeah. You got it recently, didn't you? You actually bought it?
I did. Yeah, I bought it. I did the DIY.
Oh, I sent it to you. That was Black Friday crap. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
fucking retarded. All right.
Yeah, of course he
Yeah,
spent
but
money
it's like,
with you.
I mean,
Yep.
I tried to do it all cheap, like watching,
that's fine,
listening to all the DJ EP, the DJ PhDJ podcast with like Mike and Joe, and like just figuring that out until I was finally like, all right, I need to figure out texting. I need to figure out other stuff. And Eric's done a lot of this stuff already because he's fucking smart. So he can.
Gotcha, bitch.
You know, we talked about that off beforehand, and you know, he says he's not smart, but I don't have automated text messaging in my multi-op. It's all manual. We just hire people out of the Philippines, so
Yeah. Hey, that's
if you're paying us $7 a day, or
that's technically automatic. I'm just saying, Rick ain't doing it, so we good. So, you know,
in that sense, yes.
So
it does automatic.
It's called meat automation, is what I call it.
Meat
I
automation.
Talk about this in seminars. Yes. As
one
long
way
as
to put it.
as long as
I don't think
not
they would
fucking
want to
doing
hear it that way.
Meat.
I love it.
Meat. All right.
So
Anyways.
so running the DJ op here, building my personal brand, and just rocking it in Arizona. Definitely
You're
trying to do probably a similar more lane of Rick's style than maybe yours, Eric. Really personalized profiles on the website, really beef those up. Video content of every DJ. They're booking with the DJ in mind, so the DJ is on the contract. It's not like, we're going to assign them at some point and then they'll get notified. So really just trying to push everyone's individual brand and build it up that way.
Right. Your personal brand too. I said that one time on this podcast. I was like, look at his pictures, and it was like, wait a second, what the fuck is this show? It's like a what are these pictures of? These huge events you're DJing. It's like, it seems like an EDM thing though.
Yeah, so there's some shows that I'd say my personal brand is open format with a focus on EDM, progressive house, trance. And so
are those just club nights?
No, those are like I'm opening for artists.
Okay.
Like I'm direct supporting people that come into town. So I'm actually was working, now that I have time, I'm finally working on my first like YouTube video kind of recapping. Last year we had the Super Bowl here in Arizona, and that always aligns right next to the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Have you ever heard of that PGA tour? Anyway, so we have a big PGA tour that comes through at the same time. Like well over 100,000 people per day at this like tournament, and it's not even about the golf. It's everyone's just drinking and partying and all that.
Right. That's how
and so there's an after show called the Bird's Nest every night, and so last year on Saturday they had Griffin and the Chainsmokers play, and so they asked me to play 30 minutes before Griffin and then 30 minutes before the Chainsmokers, and just providing that support. So I was just recapping that as an example of it. So yeah, it's opening for primarily electronic dance music artists.
Like big time artists. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, man, it's cool to then take that stuff from a personal brand and then also leverage that to doing private events and corporate, because they see, you've opened for Kygo or Kesha or All American Rejects, or I could go on, and it's like, well, now that demands a higher price for a wedding, which is kind of a cool thing on my end, but also gives them a better experience too.
Right. That is one thing I never capitalized on with how I have done things, is like, let me see some videos to blah blah blah, and it's like, I have from a time a decently I did some shit, to show off, and at least a bride is going to be like, oh, fuck, you're like a DJ. You know what I mean? Immediate proof. No questions asked. But I never logged it. I never got videos of it. I never got any, like, I could tell them I did it, but it's bullshit. Who cares unless you got some video?
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I should have realized this sooner. But yeah, as soon as you get any higher profile event, immediately hit up your photo guys, your video guys, get them locked in. Like you need super high quality content for that. Cause it just, as Rick knows, I mean, he has a million fucking hours online of all of his stuff. Right. And that's helped you guys. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Where'd you get in? Where'd you even do you produce your own, or you said EDM influence? So are you just downloading it? Or?
If you, I'm like the shit that I produced is not what you want to hear. So I haven't focused my time on that.
That's fine. It still gives you more credibility. I will say that, even if it's shitty, at least you're better than the next guy who never even tried. Like, that's my opinion on it. Yeah,
but it was about getting in with the right event producers. I would attribute it to at ASU. I was on the programming and activities board, and so I started getting being a part of their events, and then doing like the opening or the concerts during like the fall and spring, and supporting those, and then that showed that I could do this to say like the guys doing like talent buying who were helping ASU for that show, or my advisor recommending me and taking that video that I took to other people he knows. And so the person who produces the Bird's Nest now, I've known her for a while, and she's brought me on to do some like big New Year's Eve like block party like in Tempe, like 30,000 people things, or like just other support for those. And she's not even in Arizona, so it's like it's knowing who those event producers are, so when they do come to your town, they know who to call locally just for that additional local talent.
Cool. I'm like thinking of some like good ideas for my own bullshit as you say all these things.
Dude, you literally take, it's amazing how far these go with like whatever clout you want to call it, whether you have like 30,000 Instagram followers, or you have a sick video of you handshaking like Kygo before you jump on stage or something like Rick. I mean, you could speak to that, right? That's your whole goal. It sounds like it with your company of like getting your DJs to each have their own profiles to be able to leverage that stuff.
Absolutely. Each one of them basically want to be a record label of talent. Everyone has their own.
You're like
an
right, like an agency kind of model.
Mm-hmm. Basically, let all these guys become their own little things until they get to that point where they don't, they want someone to leverage the business side of things and more focus on their craft and their brand. So you bring them on board and then help them grow their brand.
Yeah. So you trying to find those guys like right as they already have that spark of inspiration, or are you finding guys who are talented, have maybe played some solid club or shows, and then getting them the inspiration to be like, hey, if you leverage these things, if you build your brand more, then we can charge more for a private event.
That's the hardest thing moving forward now, is finding people, of course. So that's like our biggest focus in 2024 is actually bringing on new people and finding new talent. Just some of our best talent has come through basically finding the guys on social media in our area that are doing very well, and either they're working for themselves and you can put them on a bigger platform and give them more events, or they're working for a competitor and they're completely getting underpaid for what they're worth. And both of those cases have been some of the best DJs I've been able to pull to our company in this area. Is just finding guys that they're good DJs, they're good brands, but they're more into the clubs and bars, and they want to do the weddings because they're like, oh, I see you make a lot of money doing that. And it's like, here, let me show you the way and we'll go.
Rick looked over at me when he said that, but what he means is this other company that both of us have
poached from
because this other company seriously fucks their DJs, and we were like, oh, we'll pay you like a real amount, like come DJ for us. You don't have to do anything different. Your job will actually be easier for us, and we'll still pay you double. And that's
the funniest part too.
I know, it's crazy.
Even Jordan having to do more like lighting and stuff, he's still like, you guys have so many tools, and you figured shit out that makes it simple for people versus just handing me a list of 10 songs that the bride wants to hear and a little short thing and say, go knock it out of the park, and I have to like figure it all out.
Yeah,
a fucking laptop, and it's like you only play music off of this laptop too. Like there's companies like that in our market, and it's
did you just pop a like button up, bro?
What was that?
There was a like button on your screen. Lying. It just like popped up in the corner.
Yeah, I saw that too. I'm like, I'm not even touching literally anything on my computer.
Lying. You did not just. You really didn't do that?
No. Wait, just give like a thumbs up. See if it's like AI based.
No, it's not okay. AI based.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's happened with us too, and people who have maybe did other club stuff, and then they got into private events by going and working for one of these other companies, learning a little bit more about private events, and then they just hit me up, and I'm like, hey, I see what you're doing. Like, I'm not getting paid enough. Like, will you bring me on? definitely try not to poach people.
Well,
from
poaching is a rude word. So the guy
It's not direct
the guy
poaching.
that left the company to work for me is literally blood relative of mine. I was just like, oh, dude, I'm booking wedding DJs. Like, don't waste your time over there, But whatever. It doesn't matter.
We can call it poaching. It's poaching.
It's poaching. I poach the fucking people.
I mean, our competitors straight up told them that we're poaching them, so whatever.
It's fine.
Even though it's their own moral decision, it's not like we're like,
Yeah,
we'll give you
it totally
$5,000 if you come right now.
Right. Yeah.
That's a poach.
Yeah. I guess they still take gigs from the other company. Sometimes.
They do.
Well,
Oh, mine doesn't. Don't need to.
in desperation, I would assume, because they're just not filling it up enough.
Well,
their
I mean,
calendar.
the whole, like, Rick, if he has a DJ, I won't say there's more loyalty necessarily, but I'll bring on a DJ if they're only taking 3 gigs in a whole calendar year. I'll still take you on because it doesn't really matter. Like, as long as you're gonna do your own and abide by my rules, I don't give a fuck.
Same.
If you do
100%. Yeah.
one, I'm
I have-
fine.
Right. And I mean, yeah, you want them to be maybe take a little. I do, at least in my model, because I'm doing the investing of their profile and getting video content of them.
That's what's different. That's what I feel like is different. Also, I want to ask, like, and I've never really asked Rick this either, but like, when you guys take this approach versus a different approach, is it because of passion or is it because you think you can make the most money with that approach?
Rick, you want to go first?
It's an interesting question, isn't it?
Because I want to hit a higher tier of the market. I don't want to. I don't want
but
to be
that's
a
not an answer.
Fucking bottom feeder like you, Eric.
Well, the thing is, the reason I took this approach is because I confidently think that I can make the most money with this approach. And that's just my opinion. And I can admit that's why I took this approach. But now for you guys who take the high profile, whatever you want to call it, luxury brands stuff, whatever, is it because you think it's the most profitable? And it could be.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying it's not. It is, or whatever. I'm just wondering if that's your motivation.
I value making more money for my time.
So
as
you
a
think
DJ.
So it's for money.
As a business person, I do not think it's the biggest money maker as a business because there's way more expense that comes with trying to do it this route. In terms of keeping the guys happy and doing all that shit.
But you think long term?
I think I don't know. I don't even know about long term. I just think
it's less headache because you have people more invested. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely more trust.
And this is my lane. It's like there's other business. I could go start a McDonald's franchise, and you'd probably make me even more money. But like the lane that I know is like this, like 75th percentile and up of weddings in this market. And so like that is the lane that I can teach. That is the lane that I'm going to work in and network with those planners and can just build that market too.
So it's what you're most comfortable with. That's
Definitely.
probably your answer in that case. So it's not money motivated. It's probably a good thing. I think that's a good thing.
There's always a money motivation in there.
Yeah, okay, money is always the motivation, but you get my I don't even know how to.
If I were a DJ, I'd rather work less events and make more. So therefore, I want my DJs under me to be doing the same thing.
Right. Yeah, and as a leader, you kind of have to, like, especially with us. I know, Eric, you don't, and it makes more sense in your model.
But I do understand what you're about to say, and I don't disagree. So go ahead.
And for those who can't read our language because they don't do this every fucking minute of
Eric
every day.
loves McDonald's.
Oh, I forgot about the chat. I haven't looked at the chat at all. I've been gazing at
Aaron's
Tyler.
dog knew.
Yeah, dude, that's the only way you can ever pay attention to me is if I'm not screaming in the chat. I'm actually on this damn podcast.
Fucking Aaron Strawn. Oh, well, shit, it's not 9:50, so we must be doing okay. Who's the loser now, Aaron? Anyways, so all right, so you've made the jump. You probably made good money as a engineer. I mean, so that was
I'm so open about finances. Like my base was like 118 plus bonuses and RSUs and stuff.
Right.
And
so you left a comfortable 6-figure job with full benefits and full just the deal.
The shit.
Unlimited PTO, totally flexible,
Right.
but
all the
still,
pizza
it just
parties.
wasn't even
He
worth
has his own stapler.
You were a
like-
managerial engineer then, for that level. You're that, or you had a company that was fucking awesome.
It was. They were just Dutch. They moved to. Well, yeah, I mean Motorola built the fab,
Dutch
but
people
we got
are
bought by a
crazy.
Dutch company.
Foreign.
Dutch people specifically be crazy. I'm just kidding.
Foreign.
I don't know anything. I'm just kidding.
You weren't working for an American-held Fortune 500 company. That's all I'm hearing. When I'm hearing these, I'm like, you got what? You were able to do what?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
They
It
gave
was
you
a
a
good
bonus?
gig. Don't get me wrong. Like I loved it. Like I loved engineering. I loved going in every day, solving problems, switching my brain to one side of the brain for the week, and then Friday switching to the other side. It just got to a point where it was, I could feel that it was holding me back in terms of building the more back end systems, doing more connections, figuring out advertising and investing time into that to build the business. Because, and as we all know, as business owners, that's our long game. It's not working a W-2 job. So,
well, even at 120 grand plus benefits, the thing is there's a cap. That's the difference. Whether you're, like, yes, you've got to grind your fucking dick off to get past that if you're going to take this path, but it is possible. And who's to say you can't times 10 that? You know what I'm saying? There's no cap. So I agree.
the sky's the limit. As Eric, have you said before, we have no limit on supply.
Right.
So
right.
it's all about how can we maximize that demand?
Sometimes I don't know. Like if someone approached me and was like, "Hey, we'll give you $200,000 a year, after taxes to do X, Y, Z." It doesn't even matter what the job is. Something that's, let's just say it's miserable. I can't necessarily say I'd not do that. Maybe not 200, but like maybe 250. I might take that just because it's like reliable. And sometimes I get nervous. Sometimes when you're like in the fire, I don't know about you guys. This is just me. I get nervous about being, I don't know. I feel like things could go wrong and it could all crash and burn.
That's the difference between a scarcity mindset and an abundant mindset.
Ooh, got him, Rick. Look at that.
Well, I don't even know what you mean by that. Like, what do you mean by that?
When you're in that zone, you're living in a scarcity mindset instead of an abundant mindset as to thinking about all the ways you could be generating money right now in your company.
Another simple anecdote would be like scarcity mindset is the guys who are like, ooh, I'm not busy. I'll work that little shit bar job because, or I'll accept this gig for $200, $300 because I'm not doing anything. It's a race to the bottom versus abundance is like, how can I raise my price again, like faster than I did last year? Because I know I'll do less gigs, make more money.
Not even how, just like what if I raise my price tomorrow by 10%? Would anybody care? Probably not. So you raise the price. What if the leads what if Wedding Wire not crashes? Well, I'm going to go this route. It's just thinking about all of the crazy amount of opportunity that sits in front of you and how can you leverage it. Yeah. Versus thinking about all the threats and all the things that could come and destroy your business.
Maybe it's
tomorrow.
An anxiety thing, like,
I live in anxiety 24/7.
Like,
so
because if you really break it down, I mean, it's fairly unrealistic. Let's say I literally have a DJ that fucking doesn't show up, or, I don't know what's the just does the worst of the worst, literally ruins a wedding. I still don't think that would really I mean, it would affect things, of course, but I don't think it would like ruin my company. You know what I mean?
Well, I always like to think, even if like the whole company completely just shits itself, all right, well, I file bankruptcy on the company side and go open another company. And now I know everything that I had to do it 10 times faster.
Start from the top.
Under a new brand.
Right.
By the way, like weddings book out way far in advance. Like you know so much of your financials so much better than so many other companies, I feel like.
I was just glancing at how much of the breakdown of the money to come in this year, and I was like, damn, we're already at that amount for the year? And we only...
Well done, man.
We're more than, like, in terms of bookings on the year, we're at least 60-70% of what we did previous year already on the books for this year. And I'm like,
but
we need more DJs. So we're going to run out real quick.
Let's say you're doing everything as expected and you come in way under just like your projection, right? Like you're like, oh, I'm gonna make X, Y, Z, and you just fucking don't. 50%, way short. In the wedding industry, let's say we're talking about this coming year. What would I do? And I'm not saying this happened, but just what would I do to accumulate that 50% of business I didn't get that I thought I was going to get? What moves could I even make?
Is it, well, I guess the first question is your projection on the shallow side, or is it like I'm trying to double?
Oh, let's say I, just for math's sake, yet again, not exact, but let's say I was like, oh, we're going to make $1 million in revenue next year. We're going to do $1 million, but we come in at 500,000.
What'd you do the previous year?
Let's say you did $1 million, and that's your projection, and that's the reason you're projecting that, right?
And then you
come
half
in
it.
way under, right? Let's say you're only at 250 because you still have the year to make up for that rest of that 750, but you're only going to do 500 in that whole year.
To me,
so you're going to come out
I'm
250
looking at
short. You get my point. So you already know what's going to happen. So what moves do you make to accumulate this in the wedding industry? What the fuck can you do? You can't do shit.
You might just go loss mitigation, honestly.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like with this whole mindset conversation, that's kind of what I mean. Like it's in the back of my brain. Like I feel like it's obviously anxiety related, but I'm like, fuck, if what I'm just talking about, like the worst of the worst happens, I'm helpless. I feel like
you gotta have a plan.
You're not helpless, Eric. You
gotta have a plan.
You get my point, though. Yeah. It's not like I can just put in more work. And yes, you can do that, but that's going to pay off in 2 years. That's not paying off that 6 months.
You gotta look at why. Like why is 100% is so important. Watch the metrics, understand, okay, is the whole market dipping? Is it just you? Is it because you've changed something in your like sales process? Like, is it because your DJs are not with it anymore and there's a certain bride shift? I mean, like the why is everything. Yeah. It can happen anything.
It's hard to pinpoint that.
So if I was coming in, so I understand what you're talking about, like the weddings book out in advance. Mm-hmm. So one, if you're coming into a short period, you should have foreseen that coming if you're looking at the numbers ahead of time.
Right.
So that's one thing. And then if you see that forecoming, then you got to look past that in terms of what can we do differently during that period to increase our cash flow. So do we change our deposit rules around that time frame to bumping it to like 50% versus a lower percentage? What can we do to increase booking deposits? Because that's our only in current cash flow during that time frame.
Yeah, that's a good point, Rick. I think Brian B actually mentioned that in one of his podcasts, that he actually changed his rules. I think probably close to around COVID. I'm not sure exactly when, but yeah, I mean, we have parameters within our business that we can adjust and
do a special
just because
pay in full and get 20% off right now, boom. And then you increase your cash flow during that time frame. We do that. Me and Dom were talking about this between Crate Hackers and our both lighting division, like things we can do to create pops of cash when needed. So like if I'm trying to order a giant shipment from China and I need a pop of cash to put down on that deposit, well then I can run a slam sale real quick, cut down into my profit percentage, but I get a huge increase in cash flow for the time being to be able to pay for that. Or you work out terms with your suppliers. So... Right. Or like he was talking, they offer like a quick lifetime pass to Crate Hackers at a certain amount of money to get a huge pop in cash from the people that have already been members, just offering that to them. So there's ways and strategies. You just got to think a little.
Yeah, man. Another thing too is just like keep your house clean. Like I hate debt. On a personal side, I am really big on pushing my guys to be very fiscally frugal and make sure that they are budgeting every month and not going out and buying the next biggest toy. Yeah. The next big thing Rick's trying to sell.
Do you have? Yeah, right. It's fucking all Rick and Joe Bun. Fuck. How much success do you have there with that conversation?
Really good, actually. It's awesome, especially right now around tax season, because all the guys are like, "Oh shit! Like I don't know what I'm going to owe in taxes, or I don't know what I don't even know what I made this year." And it's like, okay, dude, let's sit down, let's look at the if you don't want to buy QuickBooks, let's do the Excel sheet that I built for myself before I did QuickBooks, and we'll just go through the behavior of it. And it's amazing how you actually change some people's lives. Like I have one guy who he came over and he went to pharmacy school, so he's a pharmacist, but then does this on the side, and he had over 70 grand in debt, but he had like 120 grand in the bank. And I was like, dude, just pay it off. Like, just do. And we just sat down on my screen shared on our TV and just like, all right, I'm doing it. And it's changed his mindset. It's changed his life. He's just like all of these.
I don't even understand that.
Unless
like,
it's good
it's
debt
like the
or
money's right there and you owe it right there. Why wouldn't you just do
unless
it?
it's
I
good
understand
debt.
if you don't have it, but if it's like in abundance, like we're talking double, like not like
if you
you're-
got
you're
more
left
than a
with $20.
year's that needs to go into either an investment or
100%. Yes.
if it's good debt or debt like a car loan that if you pay it off it doesn't change how much you're going to pay. Don't bother with it. But if you, dude, people my age are I think I relate best to my employees because I'm their same age. But when I talk to them about financials and stuff, and if they mention even a word about credit card debt, I have to be like, bro, we're sitting down for 2 seconds right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they're like, I just gotta pay. I've had this conversation with like 3 or 4 people of my generation about like, you just gotta pay the minimum. That's what my parents said. And I'm like, bro, I will blow your mind. Pull up your credit card statement real quick, and I show them that line item where they're charging them $100, $200 in interest every single month, and their like mind is like blown. They're like, holy, I need to pay this off tomorrow.
It's credit cards. It's buying things. It's just buying things that you can't afford. Living above your means matters. I mean, just because you can afford some new CDJs, it's like, do you actually use them? Are you going to use these things? And it's actually been good, Eric. I mean, again, these guys are. It's cool in some ways, you're helping change people's lives one way or another, helping change behavior, trying to be a good leader as a business owner. I mean, that was something that made me feel super comfortable and not have the anxiety you're referring. Leaving my day job is my wife and I paid off our house, so we have no debt of any kind.
Yeah, I'm sure that you're like, all right, everything from here on out is fuck it, we ball. Like
literally fuck it. It's like if we want to go to Vegas with Eric,
right?
Let's.
Yeah. The only answer from here on is fuck it, we ball. Anyways, yes, that's great. Congratulations. What the hell? That's great.
Thank you, man. No, it's working 2 jobs for 10 years, just like what Rick was doing. And I mean, if
I was doing it for 10
tough,
years, man, I can imagine where I was at.
Yeah,
that'd be insane.
Hell yeah.
I only did it for 3.5, and then I was like, yeah, I'm out. But like, geez, if I was doing it for 10 years, yeah, I can see why the house is paid off now.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, long term, I mean, it was nice to have the money too, but I mean, it's always hard to not look back and be like, oh shit, where could I be if I did it even sooner? Yeah. So, I mean, there's pluses and minuses to every side, but I wouldn't change it for the world. It was a good time. Again, I love the job. So, but
yeah,
I think
job.
Everyone, what's up?
I said, yeah, I hated my job, but I worked for an American company. So there you go.
Fair enough. I love it.
Yeah.
Your salary means your life to them. So you're gonna work your life away here. Come do it. I remember, and money is no object to them. They'll pay you as much as you fucking want, but you got to put in 100 hours a week, like minimum. Like when I
literally, it's just a reminder that like companies are willing, they want to get the most out of you by paying you the least amount of money. That's just inevitable. Look at us too, like as business owners.
Yeah, I mean that's the conversation I have actually with subcontractors and whatnot. I'm like, listen, this is supposed to be a mutual thing here. If it's not beneficial for you, I don't want you to do the gig, because why would I want someone who's unhappy with the situation? You know what I mean? That means you're gonna go fuck up or treat it half-assed. I was like, so if you're not into this payout, I'm not into you working either. You know, it's mutual.
There's a big push in terms of the pay, that it's going to shift to more pay for performance basis over the next 5 years, and less salary, less hourly pay. It's going to be, everything's going to be pay for performance. So it's not going to matter about how much time you put in. It's going to be based on your performance and your output. As basically, you're going to be a sales commission person in a way. but everything.
Well,
is
shit,
gonna
it
be
makes
tied to
sense
percentage.
because everyone wants to work from home and not do anything after COVID. It
Yep.
just shifted everyone's mindset of how we work, and now companies have to respond, and that's a decent solution.
Force results, force work. In a
Everyone,
nutshell.
literally everyone in my company is a pay for performance person. Even my salary people have heavy percentage of their income is tied to a commission payout based on their performance. So it's super cool because it like the clarity of their job and their mindset is like perfect. The problem comes when you deal with payroll companies and they're like trying to ask you for what are their set hours? What did they do this? Why do they make this? Why? And I'm like, and they're just like, why aren't they a set salary? Why aren't they a set hourly wage? I'm like, because they're not. Like, it's just, can I just tell you how much to pay them and you tell me what the fucking rules and regulations around paying them is?
Because it doesn't
you.
fit in the little box that they're used to doing all the time, day in and day out, and they just are like, this must not be real, or this doesn't make sense.
They sent me one the other day because one of my DJs hasn't done an event in 30 days, and we're all W2, and they're like, this person has been paid in 30 days, and by the rules and regulations, they have to be paid between 30 and 90 days for them to be a legal full-time W2 employee. Otherwise, they got to switch to an hourly part-time W. And I'm sitting there like, just figure it the fuck out and pay the person. Like, that's all I want you to do. That's why I pay you to be my payroll provider.
See, Eric, this is the shit that we don't have to deal with because we have 1099 employees.
Hey,
still.
I did.
Good luck
there
when they shift that shit over. You'll be right here.
There was a time, and also bringing on the first full-time W-2 employee currently right now. It hasn't happened yet, but it's like in the process. She's filling out paperwork.
Uh-oh.
Cool.
Yeah.
No more bonus IRA SEP bullshit.
Yeah. Yep. No more just endlessly dumping money into a savings account.
For those who don't have good CPAs who are listening or are going to watch this later, get some good CPAs.
Don't ask us for financial advice.
Yeah. Don't ask me for the advice, but just like invest some time and money into someone who can tell you about your own money, and you will be like, wow, this is like worth the money spent.
I'll give you financial
that's
advice,
a hard
but
pill to
you got to
swallow.
run it by a CPA. That's all I'm saying.
I will say, when I was broke, or like, you know, like just the Dow Oak was like not shit, that was a hard pill to swallow. You know what I mean? Oh, it's like spend $500. I don't even know what an accountant costs, actually. I just threw a number out. But spend $500 for like financial advice, like fuck you. You know what I mean? Like,
Agrees.
Hey, I will say, I feel better paying my CPA account than I do paying my lawyer. That's for sure. Because when the lawyer hits you with that bill, it's like, God damn, bro! I just wanted to talk for 30 minets.
yeah.
You charging me $150
the
an hour?
CPA's doing like tangible work. They're saving you tens of thousands of dollars.
Our CPA also, we have the same accountant, literally goes so far above and beyond and just doesn't charge for it.
Seriously, like you can have like
I have to tell
20
him,
hours of work in a year, and he'll only charge you for filing. And you're like,
I have to tell him. I'm at the end of my random, like I called him and presented a big project I need him to complete. You know, I'm like, don't forget to charge me for this. You know, like, don't forget, I'm running you into the ground.
Andy's
so treat me like it,
dude. He's like the definition of he's waiting for you to become a big baller to just invite him on trips and stuff because he's a homie and everything. Because that's like when I told him I was like looking at buying a sports car or something for the YouTube channel or whatever. I was like looking at that investment. He's like, if you get it, hit me up. I like to go to lunch every so often. Come on now.
It actually crossed my mind that I forgot to invite Andy to my wedding, and I was like, ooh, that was like fucked up. Like, I know, I was like, damn, I should have invited Andy.
He needs to do more touch points. He needs like a newsletter or something because like
Andy
I don't
like,
hear
bro,
him.
I will automate your shit. Like, come on,
do it. I mean, what I love, Eric, that you're like, oh shit, I know how to do this. Like, and I don't remember if you guys were talking about this on this podcast, but it's like the idea of like buying a business and just like running it through the same cycle of like automation and like modernization and then just on to the next one. Like that has run across my mind so many times now when I talk to like contracting companies who are like horrible at responding and horrible at all this stuff. Like
the better and bigger I get in business and the more businesses I talk to and the more opportunities I see in business, the more I'm like, why the fuck do I run a DJ company? If I had just switched to an HVAC company, I would be making bank right now. Like, or a fucking
can.
run an electrician,
the
a plumber
DJ
company.
world.
Like, god damn.
You're not wrong, but I also just like the DJ world.
Same.
And I know I'm not even like physically in the world. I'm just talking about it on a fucking computer. But I still like it more. You know, it's
more fun.
It is more fun still. Even
Which
for
goes
me.
back to your original question, Eric. Why do I run the business the way I do? Is because, and again, I could go to a franchise. Let me this is what I know. This is what I love. So.
Yeah.
What's that word? Passion.
Passion.
We have passion.
You know, it's funny because everyone would probably argue like, oh, well, you're taking the sellout route. And I guess in the end, the reason I'm even in the fucking DJ world is passion, motherfucker.
Passion.
It's like SpongeBob. He says imagination. Yeah, right. Have you seen the
DJ Passion?
Right. Have you seen the Job for a Cowboy SpongeBob that where they do? They're in the dome and they're doing the music video. But the real song is "Sweet Victory" in the real episode, but they do "Entombment of" or "Need." I think it's "Knee Deep," whatever song.
By the way, so for the only fucking reason I'm on this podcast is because Eric and I like the same kind of music, so we just send like funny memes all the time to each other, and it's. I mean, I haven't listened to half that stuff in so long, but it's just like I always will pull it up when I see a random meme or whatever and listen to a bunch of like deathcore, and it reminds me of going to shows back in the day.
Very cool. I love it.
So
So what's the future? So now you said you literally
Fuck
I
me,
feel like
just
we
gone
only
on.
like passed by it for a quick second, but he left his job like last month. This is very fresh. So like what happens now? You know, like other than just grind it out, but like
I feel like everyone we talked to in the last few podcasts is like, I'm leaving my job or I just left my job.
well, good.
well, I
Which is
fucking
awesome.
did it.
Well, fuck them. Yeah.
You actually pulled the
We're
trigger.
talking about Tyler right
You got
now.
balls right now.
Yeah. So yeah, it's about building Engage Entertainment. It's getting more leads because I have a lot of supply right now. So I'm looking into advertising. I sold my soul and I'm advertising on the Knot and Wedding Wire, and I will be doing shortly on Google and everything else. So
You need a
even though
person.
you didn't convince me, Eric, I'm still I'm doing it anyway. So
I spend so much money. I've actually announced on this podcast the number I spend, and since then it has just skyrocketed. I won't even.
It's six figures.
It doesn't even.
They're watching you,
It
Eric.
is
They're-
so six figures. It's not just six figures. That's
It's
the
way
thing.
more than I spend, that's for sure.
It's fucking crazy. It's absurd
I think
at this
we're
point.
budgeting the next.
I just like I even like
What's our
just
budget,
to think
70?
about that. Like,
80,
God, I
70?
spend so much money in advertising. Like, what the fuck? But that's a big difference in some companies that are subcontracting DJs. Like they don't have anything to offer, and that's why the DJs are like, "Fuck you guys. What am I even getting out of this? You're underpaying me. You're not providing it. I'm not getting any like clout from this. There's no future with this. So what are you even providing? You know, that would be a big like, well, your company spends a lot in advertising. That's one.
And
one
so
of the many.
yeah, it's one side to like to grow the business and doing it that way, which I agree, Eric. And then it's the other side is on the back end of just further solidifying it as a company. I mean, I finally this year have a policies and procedures document that I'm having everyone sign and agree to, like setting further standardizing and just building it to be where it can just further run itself and increase the longevity of that. I have a kid. I'm a dad now, so that's something that's next.
Yeah,
I have a
congratulations.
4-month-old.
Yeah. No shit.
Thank you, man, dude.
He's got one fresh out the box.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy that someone has a younger kid than me. That's great.
Thanks, dude. Fuck you. But it's
Yeah, for real.
like he's cute as hell. I mean, I'm helping take care of him more, daycare and stuff. My wife is actually a family physician, and we're gonna start our own company. So I'm gonna help her out with that as well. So we're talking with brokers and finding a space to just start that company as well. So
Man, I hear
that's a scalable option too. So,
I hear some massive tax strategies coming in the future.
Dude, my uncle, or not
I
my
hear some
uncle,
massive tax strategies right there. That's all I'm hearing.
my old step grandpa used to middleman medical equipment. That was his entire everything. He would rent hospital equipment to hospitals across the nation. He was literally so fucking stupid rich.
Dude, you need to get with Andy about setting up that family business and start paying the little man and throwing that money in a 401k. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, this house is drying me out, but you're not wrong.
I can imagine that too.
Yeah. I'd love to get into how you guys both got new houses or something soon. But real quick,
I don't either.
I want to hear all
I'm
about
living in mine.
your
I'm good.
future here.
Let's hear yours.
Dude, well, my wife's parents, my in-laws are CPAs. They've owned a firm forever. So yeah, they're all about all of those like things that they can do for the kids. And it's again, get a good CPA and they'll figure out your situation. And then lastly is just developing my personal brand a lot. So as DJ Munition, I've been able to, I basically do some of the biggest events here in Arizona and continuing that brand and then being able to, again, leverage that to build my fees for private events and everything else. Because just big fun events are dope. Like getting to open up for artists, like it's like, I don't care what you pay me. Like I'll do it for free, but like they don't, but it just makes it.
I agree. 100%.
Fun.
1,000,000%. Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, I have had a YouTube channel for a little while, but I'm actually just finished recording it and been editing it today of what that experience was like last year for the Chainsmokers. And so if people want to go and find me on YouTube, DJ Munition, I'm going to be dropping that tomorrow. Or maybe this week. I don't know. This whole YouTube thing, man. I don't know how you do it, Rick. It's a lot of fucking work. So
you outsource it to people.
Yeah, there you go.
And even when you outsource it, as you might have noticed, well, I don't even know. You give me the definition. I feel like my YouTube is falling off in terms of posting significantly over the last year to 2 years. Pretty much at the same point I went full time is the same point my YouTube started to truncate down. Mostly because I saw the more energy I put into the business, the bigger it grows. So that's where I'm spending 90% of my time.
Yeah,
but
this is the reality of it.
But there's a lot of focus going into this. So I'm in like a January, February is like my reframe everything time frame. Like I almost go into shutdown mode in terms of actually doing anything and reframework everything that I am doing and what I'm planning to do this year. So like YouTube though is like almost like the number one priority, actually, surprisingly, for my business moving forward.
So you brought that up a little bit, I think, last time on the podcast. Can you go into that a little more of why that is?
Mainly for both lighting, sadly, but and just in general having influence over the DJ market in a way. But also it also goes hand in hand with allowing me to increase my rates dramatically moving forward. So even though they are still, I keep staggering mine even high. One thing that's been blowing my mind, and I feel like any DJ that ups their rates as an influencer does the same thing, but as I increase my rates, I swear more people book me. And I'm like, why didn't I do this yesterday? I think Joe was talking about it last year where he was like, I opened up a new $7,000 package for me, and then now I'm getting booked more than I ever did before. And I'm like, what the hell? I should have been doing this from the get-go. And he's like, I need to charge more. He's like,
what? So I didn't see that webinar or whatever. What is?
I think he just told me that personally.
What's included in that?
Oh, it's like everything. It's like movers, Asteras, himself, and ceremony. Like it's like anything and everything you need. But it's just like that's my price. Like if you want me, that's my price. It comes with everything. I bring a CO2 cannon, and we're good to go. Otherwise, I'm not showing up just to do audio only. And I'm like,
I think that should be anyone who's still doing weddings. I mean, Eric, fuck you. You don't get to enjoy this, but it's
I would if it weren't for my wife.
I just remember Joe, like,
I think it's super fun.
When I first met him in 2018, like his rate was like $3,000. It was like $3,000 or $4,000, and then he like upped it to like five or $6,000, and he's like, hey, I'm just going to make my rate outrageous, like fucking outrageous. And he went to like $5,000 or $6,000, and he's like, they still fucking book me. I'm going to make it even more outrageous. I'm just, like, every year that was the convo I had with him is like, I'm just trying to make my rate fucking outrageous because I'm tired of people booking me. And the more he keeps going up, it's the more bookings.
Eric is at this just super high rate, and you promise your wife I only take 1 gig like
A year or a month.
I don't know, sure, like one a month or whatever, and that still keeps you out there, keeps you fresh, and
If I booked one
there's
a
something
month at a ridiculous rate, I'd be like, Rachel, you can suck it. I am going to
So-
DJ. I just don't think that would happen. You know, I'm not Joe Bunn. That's fine. You know, if I had all that proof, I could have maybe not been Joe Bunn, but I could have been me. You know what I mean? I could have been something.
You know what's crazy? I also think my demand went up when I stopped doing the actual sales consultations. So I look more elusive to like book me. I feel like is the kind of the definition of it.
Putting someone in between.
So there's someone in between me and getting to me versus like every consultation is joining with me, and I'm trying to sell at the other guys 9 times out of 10 versus myself.
that's a good point. I still do our sales calls, and I definitely am struggling to like step away from that because it's inevitable.
hard.
It has to happen.
I took a huge dip in our sales just because not having a solid like salesperson, like have that process of like switching salespeople and training up a good salesperson to get them good.
So important.
You're gonna have a drop in bookings regardless. It's just like inevitable.
It's still the best thing in the
But
world,
once it's
though.
in place-
I'm telling you, that is the biggest jump you could make right there. Like
It is.
That is the only
The
thing
hardest
I
jump.
sub out for the whole. That's what Lindsay is being full time coming on is to do that, and it's
That's awesome.
yeah.
Congrats.
Fuck that. Well, we had someone before, but they fucked off.
Dude, it's the hardest position to hire, but it's the most necessary once they get fully trained up. And if there's a sales training program to put them in, do it, because it's crazy. I hired Hannah in December, tried to train her up, and like we got a good amount of numbers through January and February, engagement season, and then like the summer I went, and I was like, all right, we're gonna reinvest in the marketing, and then I put her in sales training, and then literally after she like tail end of sales training started breaking like monthly booking records every single month, and like we have a green, yellow, red scorecard in terms of bookings, and like you can see as soon as she finished sales training it went green, 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 and like she's
Congrats.
in
You
January.
use a different product, or what do you use for that sales training?
It's through my coaching group. So the action coach group that I'm in for coaching, she went through the sales training, and then all my team went through the management training there too. It's 12-week programs. It's like 1 day a week. It's 1 hour. You have a 30-minute video you have to watch as homework, and then a little bit of stuff you have to do on the back end. But management training, I've told everybody, but like putting my team through management training has improved our work at flow as a group like tenfold. Like everyone has the same mindset, the same theological or whatever the fuck the word is for it, methods to the madness. Like they have the same thought process, and they understand like how our meetings are supposed to be conducted and our metrics and reporting and all that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
Hannah's the only one that's been for
Being
I haven't
consistent.
even been through the sales training. Hannah's the only one I sent to because she wanted to go to it, and she basically said she taught the sales training, but
But clearly, it showed a difference, right? I mean, between that and just having the experience in that position. So
yeah,
I appreciate it's just something that it is inevitable. We'll see where I can get my rates to after that, but yeah, we definitely have a high ceiling in Scottsdale, and so I definitely will be attempting that move too. Just how high can you go? And I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should too, Eric. I think like try it. Like if that's something that you would find a passion in, and just adds to your personal income. I mean,
just add to your funnel the DJ
it's out
Eric
there.
package
I don't disagree with everyone.
with the baller,
It's just-
everything. Just put $7,000 on it and see if you can book it once a month.
It's just a weird. And
Put 10
it's
grand
probably
on it,
just
fuck
me
it.
being like a fucking bitch about it, but I feel like it's a big jump. But either way, I don't disagree. I've thought
Because
about that
sometimes
many
there's
times.
going to be
Bro, think about it. If you put like $10,000 and you get one a month, that's $120,000.
If I
additional.
could book one a month at $10,000, I would just stop Dow
So
events.
do it.
I would just do that. Are you kidding me? Like, of course I would fucking do. Well, no, I wouldn't. But
No, you wouldn't,
I would.
'cause it'd be additional.
I would be happy. How about that? I would be like,
You could pay
wow,
for
this
your
is
house in like 2 years.
great. Yeah, right. I hope. I wish, but yeah.
That's
Bro,
that's the abundance mindset, Eric.
The freedom of you get when you literally don't have a single payment.
Oh,
of,
I can't.
Of any loan
I
in
have
the world.
this. I have this.
I can imagine.
I have this talk with my wife all the time. I'm like always laying out. I'm like, yo, 15 years. I was like, we just locked in 15 years. No, understand what's happening. I was like, because my money is your money now, so you need to understand. You know, I was like, you might not. This is new to you, but I need you to fucking stand. Like, yeah, no, we have this conversation all the time.
And dude, you're gonna pay it off before then.
Hopefully,
and
hopefully.
Again, every conversation ends with "fuck it, we ball." Literally every time.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I feel like once I own my house, that's it. Like, what's the next purchase? A Lamborghini? If I save the money, I'd probably buy a Lamborghini. You know, some retarded like crazy ass car. You know what I mean? That's just like, what the fuck you own like that? You know what I mean? I'd buy that.
The only reason I'm not even
After I owned a house. You know,
I'm not even close to trying to want to pay off my house only because I have a 2.1% interest rate right now, and I'm like. I'm just I could take because right now like we pulled out a home equity loan and like we like reside the house, but because of how slow the contractors were, we just like straight up had cash for it. And now I'm like, this equity loan could be nice for buying a rental property this year. And Eric's like, I'm selling my house. I'm like, I might be interested in buying that house for a rental property.
Also, I mean, y'all can read, but. You get the insurance back. I mean, like not the insurance, but your interest back off your write-offs like every year. So why pay it off sooner if you can build up your write-offs? But yes, new house, just the down payment could have paid off my old house in its entirety. So
oh shit.
So like whoops. You know, maybe not whoops, dude. But like you know.
That's sick though. I mean, you enjoying it? I mean, hopefully
it's being built, so I don't know yet.
It's in the finishing stages right now. Like it's there. Like if you drive, you're like, oh, look at that nice house, but like you go inside, and it's like, oh, they got to do that.
I've always wanted a really nice house, and maybe that sounds stupid. I don't know, but I care a whole lot about having like a really big, nice house.
Dude, I'm vain as shit like you are, man. I definitely want that too. Me and my wife look at houses all the time. She's trying to convince me to buy this like $1.7 million place closer to our parents, and it's like, okay, well, think about it. But
right, yeah. I mean, in Phoenix, honestly, like that's probably even like because Greensboro's cheaper. Greensboro's much cheaper. Yeah, that's
probably not too far off yours.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, ooh, that might sound shitty. I didn't. I like.
No. That would be like a really high end finish, like maybe like 3,500 square foot, like 5+1, and like a 3-bathroom or something.
No. Okay, yeah, that's Same. Like what I think the house I'm moving into is like 4,000. It's like 3,900 with a 4-car garage.
Fuck yeah. Oh, man. The garages, that's what gets me every time, man.
Dude, I was so insistent on the garage. Rick uses his garage so much, it's ridiculous. You know, and I want that. I don't have a garage, so like, come on.
Bro, is it like a 2 and a 2?
No, it's actually, it's 3 entrances, but one is double deep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so the 4th is like a back area.
Yep.
The tandem.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm jealous as fuck because I got literally like a standard 2-car garage. Like that bitch is 22 by 20, like the tightest.
Oh no,
it only fits one car.
You cannot fit your truck in it.
Fuck no, it don't fit. It don't fit.
I got the extended doors too. I got 3 9-foot garage doors, so they're like the maximum single entrances. Also, it's monstrous. I didn't cut any corners. I literally every time they asked me a question about like, oh, should I get this or should I get this? I was like, get fancy.
That one.
Get the fancy. You know, I was like. I'm already going into debt up to my fucking eyeballs. Just fucking ball. Like,
but fuck it, we ball.
Yeah.
You did a 15-year fixed on it. So nice. That's sick.
Yeah. No. Oh, I signed it a 30, but I'm going to pay it as if it's a 15. You know?
That's aggressive.
Just in case, you know, I mean, Come on, guys. I wasn't
Rick,
born.
Rick has a different opinion on debt than I do, which is fine. But
You're on the Gord or what's his name? Fucking Ramsey. Ramsey. You're on the Ramsey mindset.
Pay it off as fast as possible, or what is Ramsey mindset?
Ramsey's zero debt, like zero debt. Like he does not see good debt, bad debt. I like the good debt, bad debt mindset, but I do understand how a personal home is a bad debt. Like a rental property debt is a good debt because
one is an asset, one is a liability.
Your house is a liability, and people that think that your house is an asset are stupid.
Yeah,
I 100% agree with that. I just have a super low interest rate, and I popped at the right time that our house has increased over $150,000 in value in 2 years, which is absolutely fucking mind-boggling because we've only owned it for 3 years. So I'm pulling out home equity loan or line of credits to then be able to fund into our rental properties, which me and my wife are going to basically, that's our goal for this year, is to have a rental property by the end of the year. I have our first income producing property. It might be Eric's house. We'll see.
Long-term or short-term rentals?
Long-term rentals. Yeah, I'm not.
I get it.
Our city's not a short-term rental spot. We're not a touristy.
Oh my God, dude. Phoenix, we've got so much shit.
Dude, I'd be all about it in Phoenix. I'd be all about it. And like we went to Miami and we stayed in Airbnb for a night, and I was like, dude, if I was in fucking Miami, I'd buy up like all of these condos right now. Like this is. The guy we rented from, I like had a convo with him on the text about it, and he literally had. They're a management company, and the owner of that one owns like 12 fucking they had a whole like when we walked in, they're like, "Are you here for the Airbnbs? Or are you here for the residential?" And they're like, "Airbnbs," and like that side, like they have their own.
They know
they have their own desk dedicated to all the Airbnb arbitrage fucking condos in this high rise, and I was like, "That's insane. That's insane."
It's a different world. I'm down to own rentals, but I want to do it all cash. So it's just we're getting to the same end. It's just the means at which we do it.
Correct.
The method.
It's the methods to the madness, and if you ride on the debt or if you don't ride on the debt, that's all it is. That's the only difference.
That's all it is. Or you can just go into debt up to his eyeballs like Eric and fuck it, we ball on a big ass house.
Cross your fingers and be like, hopefully 15 years from now, everyone will be like, I need my DJ event planner automated. And I'll be like, thank God you paid off my mansion.
This is why he's so anxious about his business going under, even though he's totally fine.
It is. That is actually a huge reason. You're not wrong.
As long as your business ain't tied to your personal assets.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all you care about.
Like, and backup plans on backup plans. Sure, I have anxiety. It is what it is.
To be fair, our industry is so diverse. Like every job is a new customer. So like in a certain way, we have a huge diversity. So I'm not too worried about mine. I don't think you should be about yours unless you hear about like the COVID like pause or like the wedding pause, whatever that's supposed to hit us all soon. And it's like I
actually believe
some people say that
it's this spring. It's this spring for us.
I mean, we ran
our spring's light.
We ran our numbers, and what I was saying earlier is happening.
Those
weren't the specific numbers, but that's what's happening to us.
Spring
this year. It's never happened before, and it's different.
For me, it's the February, March, April timeframe is really light this year in comparison to last year.
All I do is I hold up so the metrics I measure.
The fall is strong as shit right now.
The metrics I measure are contracts sent, contracts signed in a certain time frame, and then I obviously measure how much money all those contracts were worth. But
sure.
And well, that's fucking it. Yeah, there's nothing more than that, and we're coming in way under, and we've never come in under. Ever.
Have you specified
that metric
months,
is always roughly 10 to 20% up.
Have you specified months though? Like what months are the low
I'm
bookings?
talking. I do it by the week. I do it like January 1st through January 8th. Like what did we do last year? And I measure it this year. How many calls did we do? How many contracts did we send? How many signed? How many were there?
Oh, so you're saying sales rates are down right now?
Yes.
Oh. Ours are through the roof.
Yeah, well, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, mine are killing it too. But I don't know. Do you think it
like
all
where
could it
they're
be-
booking like time frames, aims, and when I look at booking time frames, our February, March, and April are like 60% down from last year. Our July, August, September, October at this point in time frame, the bookings are through the roof.
I'm not
talking.
talking. All right, I'm not talking about when the events happen. I'm talking
Correct.
about when the contract was sent.
Well, I'm also saying right now our sales are through the roof. Like from
Good.
from August, we set like our sales record, and we doubled if not tripled our sales in July over any other July we've ever had. August was through the roof. September was through the roof. October broke the sales record. November broke it again. December came in solid, and January right
Rick,
now.
did you increase your prices recently?
No,
Okay.
our
Because I
last
was going to say, if you did that, then I mean, him looking at like say individual sales would be a different. metric.
pricing hike was in June. We hiked all of our prices in June and standardized them. I guess we did it again in October when we like restructured. We removed all of our hourly rates. Like there's no more hourly rates. We increased the price by like $300 and then removed all hourly rates altogether. So we went from having a 5-hour baseline to we added $300 because 6 hours is our standard 9 times out of 10. We added $300 for that extra amount and removed all prices from the base price line. But all of our enhancements, everything else on the bundle side stayed the same. We just removed that hourly rate, upped it by $300, and kept it the same.
Nice. So Eric, you're okay. Could you say that your and Rick's like businesses are at a different price point for
Absolutely.
your market?
Absolutely.
Is there a different enough like between the two?
It's different enough to where he's getting a different.
What's your
clientele.
average right now? Because I just ran it. It's our average the last 6 months of the year was about $2,300
next
per contract.
for 2024? Because that's how I would look it up. It's probably $1,850.
But then I
Okay,
actually
my average.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying our average ticket is like 3,300. So it's like our businesses are at different like parts on the
Well, yeah,
distribution.
I'm talking to a
And so-
different income level. I'm talking to a different tax bracket. Is what we're saying, isn't it? Right?
So
It's okay if that's what we're saying. I'm just asking if that's what we're saying.
So I literally ran these
and-
numbers this morning with my business coach because I didn't know them, and it was $2,300 for all contracts together. But it was interesting when I broke it down by individual lead source. Wedding or vendor referral, client referral, both were at $3,500. Wedding Wire and the Knot were at $32 and $31, and then Facebook, Instagram was at $3,000, and then it dropped off to Google being like 26 and a few others below
That's
that.
fucking interesting.
It was
do
very
you think
interesting.
you have a big enough sample size to be able to like be pretty confident in those results?
Yeah.
That's sick. Because what Eric has above either of us is just mass numbers. And so I'm going to trust that in terms of trends.
Sample size here. He's got 10x my sample size. I will straight up say that. He's got 10x my sample size.
Right. So maybe you're doing better because you guys, your model and
It just makes no
town
fucking
is
sense.
different.
I will say it just doesn't make any fucking sense. We're in the process of figuring this the fuck out, obviously.
Same.
That's like obviously my top priority right now, and it's been every day for the last like 10 days kind of thing.
I was blown away by those numbers when I pulled them off of Honeybook. I was like, we really are at a $3,000 average now? Holy shit.
That's great. I mean, the thing is, so the shift,
should be there.
right? So monthly, like I said, I'm looking at those total revenues sold goals. Let's say it's $100,000. Well, it's like, this year we did 85 on that $100,000 month. It's like, fuck. Next month, same thing. $100,000 month, we did 85. I'm like, 2 months in a row we're on 15 under. Holy shit, right? And so I'm looking at my point in time graph, like how much money have I sold for the future at this point in time last year, right? That's a good metric, right? And we have a $45,000 breathing room gap before it shifts right now. We're still up 45 grand.
Yeah.
But
Was
that's
it-
the shift. And it's never happened before.
Was it a
and
new
it's just
salesperson?
notable. I mean, that sucks. Yes, we're I mean,
I know you had a new salesperson, but I'm wondering if that's
and it could be
a point in time thing.
It very well could be it because she started full time in June, and Graham literally just stopped showing up. It was like overnight. Here's a new salesperson, and she's full time overnight.
Because if you look at it and you see that leads were same in that time frame, but you send everybody a quote, right?
Yeah, we send everybody.
So if leads are the same, quote send is the same, but bookings is not, then the only difference is your sales process.
Correct. You're
Hey,
correct.
There's trends though too. There's
trends
exactly.
too. Yes, there is. But
because the thing is we actually we're very specific about what the fuck you say on that phone on the sales call. It is not.
Good.
It's not just like, oh, say what you think will work. That's not what we do. And we've done that since the first, like before Graham even came on.
Then maybe there's market factors. It could also be
You're
tone
wrong.
and person.
All of these what ifs,
they're all factors.
You're not wrong, but that's what I'm in right now. And I have crazy anxiety, and I'm kind of worried. And it's fine, but we have to do $1 million in order to keep this up. I'll have to change my entire mindset if we don't. Which is fine. I've done it before.
No, not your entire mindset.
I have. Oh, I just screamed that. But I have done that before.
Just automate more.
Yeah, I've done it before. So it's not, when COVID hit, we literally just flipped the script.
Automate your
100%.
DJP.
Right. I'll sell that.
So all I'm hearing is Eric needs everybody to go to automate your DJ EP.
Yeah. Give me your money, people. I'm fucking up. Give me some money. God damn it.
Everybody go donate $1 million in the chat right now and we'll be okay.
I want to say one thing before we hang it up because we're 20 minutes past.
Oh, are we really? Holy shit.
Yes. So I was doing DJ interviews for new DJs. And,
oh, boy.
And this chick she was like, it came up that I knew the people. She was like, Cleveland Terry has helped me so much and blah, blah, blah. And Nick Spinelli is so funny and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, Rick Weber. Because I was going to be like, that's my homie. We do a podcast. She was like, nope. She was like, haven't heard of him. And I was like, do you know DJ Barr? She's like, I love DJ Barr. And I was like, oh, I know. I go, ooh. And so on your point of your YouTube's falling off.
It's falling off.
That's it. That's all I was going to.
That
was my relevant topic. That was just yesterday.
Let's be honest here. These guys are all entertainers. And I spit the facts. I'm just kidding. I'm nerdy as shit. I get into the details on shit, man.
He ain't just doing gig logs, people.
Cleveland, I'll give Cleveland. Cleveland's right there with me. We're both nerdy. We both talk about gear and shit. But
Cleveland is helping fucking DJs. Cleveland is telling you, he saves you spending the money to figure it out. Cleveland's helping people for sure.
But Bar, Nick are both entertainment.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. And Nick's super funny. So.
Cleveland runs a whole big multi-op. So, same. Actually,
well, if you want to learn what it's like to do big fucking shows and maybe you can get some yourself and maybe you'll find me too. And hopefully I'll be teaching you guys a little bit of that. So.
All right. So, Tyler, if people were to want to find you after this, if they were in your position or wanted to become you, how would they find you?
Yeah. It's at DJ Munition. It's like ammunition without the first AM on everything. So that's my stage name. That's everything. And yeah, I post some fun events and we'll be just communicating how I have done it all on YouTube. It's the ability to do sicker gigs and then ultimately get paid more by leveraging them is the move. So if you're down for that, check me out.
Awesome. All right. So 2024, we're here, and I believe we're on next week as well, and the next week, up until my wedding, and I think we take some breaks around there in February.
Yep. We're on every week until
late February. Maybe there might be a week off there just because shit might get stressful. Not on my end, but on family relation things and stuff of that nature. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Subscribe. It's on audio on Spotify. If you guys don't know the gist, we have this on audio. It's on YouTube on video. Subscribe on YouTube because we make like a cent off of every episode. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Eric. Happy 2024. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
You're fucking
See, you're
lying.
fucking with us.
You're fucking
You're
lying.
fucking lying with us. Bye.